In my work as a psychologist, I meet a lot of people who avoid things they're afraid of or that gives them panic. And I always ask them what happens in your body when you think of or when you meet these things. And what they say is always the same. They get a higher heart rate, their breathing gets faster, their muscles get tense, their full focus is on the thing that scares them, and their mind is completely occupied with thoughts like run or get away. What they feel is a stress reaction, and although stress has gotten a bad reputation in today's society, it's a critical survival instinct that we share with almost all other living things. Because think for a second of what humans are most often afraid of. Spiders, snakes, heights, airplanes, syringes, dogs, blood, things that through the ages have been known to be dangerous. They can be poisonous or we can fall and die, but in one way or another, it's been stuff that we should avoid. The ancestors who have been a little more anxious around the cliff's edge have survived much better than those who just ran over it. And when they have gotten children, they in their turn have been a bit more anxious when coming to big heights. And the reaction that they describe is also very smart. Consider if you were a participant in a running competition in the woods. What would happen in your body? Your pulse would go up, your breathing would be faster, your focus would have to be on the next step all the time, and your muscle would tense. You could probably be a bit sore the next day. In other words, the exact same reaction that happens during stress, so that your body is ready to run before your brain has even reacted to the threat. The problem when trying to help people cope with stress is that apart from the other reactions, stress also makes you turn off the parts of the brain that are the most rational, that are the most smart, that knows that maybe this isn't dangerous. And since stress doesn't learn by telling it stuff, it's very hard to make a person remember these things I'm saying when encountering the thing that stresses it. And I have found that a better way to access this information when encountering the frightful thing is to create a story. Because stories has helped people learn things all through the ages. And the story I have created is about the stress general who lives inside the stress central in your brain. And the stress general works a lot like a general in the normal army. When the coast is clear, the army sits back and lets the country do what it wants to do to achieve its goals. But if a stressor, a threat is identified, the army takes over and the resources is guided towards eliminating the threat and survival. And until the threat is over, that is where the resources go. So if you think of the stress general living in your stress center, you can imagine that he has two walls. On the one wall, he has pictures of all these things that humans are more easily afraid of. Needles, spiders, snakes, darkness, strangers, all things that push the alarm button. And on the other wall, he has things that he has learned to be afraid of, because stress is also very connected to learning. That is why you remember the great things and the bad things in life more clear than other things. You remember your childbirth or your divorce, your accident or your lottery winnings. And imagine that right now, when I'm telling you this, a man comes in and he hits you hard in your face. What would happen if you got away and you meet him the next week on the bus? Probably you will have a very strong stress reaction. Your pulse would go up, you will be very focused on him and getting away so it won't happen again. And the thing is that even this video, if you watch it again, might unleash the same reaction in your body. Just by watching me and getting close to when it happened, would also set off this stress reaction, because context is also very important. So the stress general has, all these learned threats. He has the almost born with threats, and in front of him he has a computer screen for every sense. Everything you smell, you hear, you see, you feel is constantly being analyzed and being compared to the pictures on the walls. And if nothing compares, the stress general chills and you can do whatever you want. But if something resembles one of these pictures, the alarm goes off. The stress general turns off your frontal lobes, your smart parts of the brain, and he unleashes this stress reaction to help you stay alive. He'll tell all your senses to put all their focus on the thing that is frightful. He'll go down your central nervous system, because that's where the stress system is, and he'll tell your lungs to suck in more air, to get more air into the blood. And he'll tell your heart to push the air out to your big muscles so you can fight or flight from the thing that scares you. And he'll also turn off your digestive system, because it takes a lot of blood to digest food, and that will be more important in your large muscle groups. And this activity will continue until the stress general determines that the coast is clear and everything can go back to normal. He will, however, be very sure to remember what happened and what he did, so that he can unleash the same reaction the next time, because obviously he succeeded and you survived. And all these things are great as long as the analysis is correct, as long as the threats were real. The problem is that the stress general is rather safe than sorry, and maybe the stressor wasn't dangerous. Maybe the situation just reminded you of something that scared you or your ancestors in the past. And as the stress general now thinks that you survived because he stressed you out and you avoided, you will now continue to avoid this thing that might not be dangerous today. And the best example of this that I've found is unpleasant movies. Because it's really strange. Think about it. You're at home, you're in your couch, everything is good, you're comfortable, and you put on a movie. And things happen that suddenly trigger the stress reaction in your body. Your pulse will rise, you will breathe fast, you will tense, maybe you will put something over your ear, maybe you will walk away. And isn't this completely crazy? You know there's no harm in this. You know that the persons who are slaughtered on the movie is just actors. They're just happy to get a role. It's really, really hard being an actor. It's so crazy that you sit there and react as if you are in danger. But think for a minute of what scary movie it does. They really, really try to fool the stress general. They push all these buttons. They bring darkness, strangers, pointy things, blood, surprises, sudden sounds. They do whatever they can to make him push the alarm button. And they might be so successful that you walk away even. But the story of scary movies also holds the key to progress. Because I also ask my patients, what happens if you watch the same movie 5 times in a row, 10 days in a row? And they all say, well, I would be getting less scared. And I say, why? What if everybody died? Wouldn't that be horrible? No. And why is that? Yes, because the stress general soon realizes that you don't die. You are not in danger. And when you realize this, he will take that movie away from the shelf. He will put it away, and the next time this movie will not trigger this reaction, because he knows, I survived the last time. Why wouldn't I do it this time as well? He learns very, very fastly if you can get over and expose yourself to what you're afraid of. So the only way to relearn when you're afraid of something is to challenge it. It is to meet it in suitable steps. And this story can help activate parts of your brain that you need to dare to approach what scares you. It can help with the understanding, because a lot of people also get afraid of this reaction in their body. Panic anxiety, for example, is best described as a phobia of your own stress reaction. So if you can help yourself or someone near and dear to you see that, oh look, why is your shoulders rising? Is it a stress general? Suddenly you can activate this story and you can know what's happening, and you can maybe stay a little longer and challenge a little more. So if you're able to prepare this way and plan small steps how to approach the thing you fear, then every step you take will be a step towards freedom.